Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Life on the Autism Spectrum. I will be your co-host today, Stacey Kennedy.
And I'm your co-host, Will Burnick.
Today, we have as a guest is Andrew Arboe. He will be discussing a lot of current work and contracting, and he's a self-advocate and autism motivational speaker. Before we get started, Will, what does your shirt say today?
I'm glad you asked. For this shirt, this episode, I'm wearing my Giants shirt. Some of you know that MLB season just started up, and the Giants are back at Oracle Park again.
Okay, so now we will turn it to Andrew Arboe. And Will, would you like to start with questions?
Tell us about how you came to the autism community.
A very good question. And first off, thank you for having me be on this, being here on this podcast. What got, what kind of started was me, like I aged out of special education. I'm like age 32. I may not look like that, get told that a lot, but I'm around that age. So I've been out of the school system for about a decade. And that's kind of like a period that kind of changes everyone. Like even like parents, anyone else like you have someone that you have like special ed services and it just changes one moment that it's gone. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I thought about cooking, did not get into cooking. Well, like getting cook meals, but like using it as like a profession, I couldn't get into. And I wanted to do something there, and I've always been really good in finding information. I've always been really good reaching out to people, and I was kind of getting a lot more used to socializing. I decided to go into human services. Like I saw this community college degree on DB and disability specialist, and I was like, no, this could be something for me to try. And 10 years afterwards, I work in both human services as a DSP or direct care person or direct support professional. There's a lot of different names for that type of thing, and a teacher assistant at autism school. And my online brand, which I do outside all of that, I do public speaking and contracting for autism organizations and providers. I kind of go in and do presentations about both my lived and professional experiences, contracting. I kind of do whatever projects that, let's say, an organization may have me do a good fit. I just did one with the Autism Project in Rhode Island where they had me work on on several slides. So that's an example of my contracting. And outside of that, I do have fun stuff that I actually do. I love travel. Like yesterday, I actually traveled to Vermont to visit Landmark College. It's a very cool college. It does a lot that has a very inclusive environment. Like they get a lot of different. They get people with disabilities and attend their college. You have a lot of different supports. Like it was a really nice. It was a very nice campus. So I love to travel, go visit coffee shops and visiting video game stores, arcades as well.
Tell us about your current work in the autism community.
As mentioned, I'm a teacher assistant. I do work at a private autism school through Focus Center for Autism. Same thing, I work as a DSP, as a per diem, so the both of those I get involved too. And then my brand kind of keeps me busy on and off. Because this is the month of April, it's kind of getting pretty fast paced. Like next week or the next couple of days, I'll be doing a keynote in Philadelphia over at Temple University. The Arc of Philly reached out to me to be a keynote for their youth leadership program. So I'm excited because I haven't done a keynotes in at least 2 years. So I cannot wait to present on that. Good experience. It will be good exposure for my brand because I love to kind of go out there, present to families, connect to different professionals where I can kind of collaborate with. I get along with everyone. So I kind of just want to like a bitch and kind of through my experiences to kind of at least show information, make at least someone's lives a little bit easier. I mean, they still have to put in like the hard work of kind of forging their own lives. But I feel like if my materials, I could at least make it somewhat doable, or they may have that light bulb moment where they realize that, oh, I didn't think about it this way. And maybe and see if they want to implement that in their lives or not. And that's kind of type of one of my impacts I want to do. And I also find public speaking very enjoyable. Just share my experiences there, connect with the audience there, sneak in a few occasional video game references. I love, I grew up with video games, especially Pokemon, Nintendo, and one of my favorite types of games is Japanese role-playing games for its stories and characters. Like a lot of that kind of influences my work. It still does to this day.
Tell us about driving with autism.
All right, and then first disclaimer, the program, like you would see it in my work history or work history on my website or my LinkedIn that I did something like that. The program is not that it's not official anymore. Um, it is absorbed by Autism Speaks, and I am a consultant on what kind of remains there. So, what they do have is a We're in a Drive course there, and where I had a lot of freedom to create the materials and recorded a few videos for that. Do check that out. They gave me a lot of freedom, and they were very accepting of my feedback, which was very appreciative. When I did Drive with Autism in 2022, what it was vibe webinars. Like I talk about my own experiences, like the reason I got into driving. I really need it for my work because in my teaching and all my different roles, it's like you need a license to get to places. Like there was non-negotiable. Like I had to make it work. And that led me to do public speaking on driving topics because when I was networking my way up in that ladder, I never once saw a driving workshop anywhere in any autism or disability conferences. Like I never once actually seen it. So I wanted to change that and like talk about it for once. And it led to me doing different collaborations with a driving school, and then I did Driving with Autism, which was an 8 course webinar. Like I did that for a whole year. Unfortunately, it didn't kind of work out. Didn't work out. One of the places where I worked at kind of went under, and I was forced to let the program go. And I kind of led my way into it again through Autism Speak. So both kind of like a bad, like a negative time, but also turned positive. And I think like the main program person when I was discussing this was correct that it was still a success to like that. So thank you for that words. That's actually a very good way to reframe it, by the way.
Thank you, Will, for your questions. So, Andrew, I have some questions for you too. First, I wanted to ask, I noticed a dog on your website. Is that your dog?
All right. Sorry interrupting, but yes, that is Guy the puppy. When
Nice.
I say, oh, I'm sorry. Go, you can go
No, no,
first.
you first. Yeah.
I can give some background for that. Anyone that follows my pages, either personal, but most of the time, I assume most people follow my main, like my Instagram, my Facebook page on my brand, and
Uh-huh.
LinkedIn and all that. I'm assuming to go there first, unless if I make an effort of friending someone through my actual personal page, where I kind of still talk about similar stuff.
Uh,
My dog on my page, Sky the puppy. He's one of my main influences in my work, like in many inspirations I've had there. I use anything from travel, video games, conferences I've been to, work experiences. Like I use literally everything from my brand for like and inspire me, and Sky kind of inspires me. It was actually a topic I made for him. It would be cool that I ever do a presentation on, I guess, autism and dogs, or at least being a dog parent, because I actually do have a topic there on my experiences raising him. He's technically my dad's dog, German Shepherd, but
yeah.
I raised him for a good while. Like he was on my ramp when I was driving from Massachusetts back to Connecticut, or my dad was, and I bonded with him big time.
Sweet.
And I do have a couple picture frames here, and I plaster his pictures whenever I can, whenever it makes sense. Like I usually in all my slides, there's usually a picture of Sky in the agenda page. Like usually, like that's like the biggest excuse for me to squeeze that in there.
That's
And
great.
yes, he is that adorable, like everyone I talk to, and
Yeah.
that's why I do it because he's really an empathetic dog,
Oh, I
entirely empathetic. He can be
nice.
very zoomy, and also he shares my. Also, he's a coffee thief, as I joke in my videos. I do have a YouTube page, but mostly dumping around for Sky videos because it
Yeah,
gets so much.
my parents have dogs, so I love them too. Due to certain principles that you have created and follow, and you let me know if this is still current or not. Can you explain what your experience with divisiveness, if I said that right, all around the autism community has been like?
Oh yeah, I can. Because I play a lot of different like storylines, and I consume a lot of like. Best I describe it like I talk about the near series of a video game series in my pages
Mhm.
all the time, like almost all the time. But at least whenever we bring up video games, it's a good guarantee I bring it up. And that one kind of goes into perspectives, like in that series, it kind of goes into why people do these things. And I grew up with that. I played that right after I aged out of school. So
Mhm.
when I play the game, like you play as one perspective, and then the game flips the script and you see what the other side was actually doing. That kind of stays in your mind, especially when it was kind of like the game Near Replicant was very tragic, was incredibly tragic with its storyline. So I used to always, so I always had that in mind of like what the other side, and because I'm no stranger to connecting with so many different groups, like I mentioned, Autism Speaks is definitely one of those. Both in which I can still see why some people are still hesitant. And my current stance is I don't like force anyone to. I feel like at a point is if you're gonna make a stance, try to look up current information because everything I see with them when I notice it from the online reactions is just like the old stuff. But I'm like, it's been 2 decades, what they're doing now.
Mhm.
And it really helped and it helps because what I do with my brand and whenever I go visit places, I usually like to get their perspective in case if I ever do a collaboration, it'd be like, would it be a good fit for me? And often, like, I don't want to kind of go from an online mentality of this, doing what the internet tells you to do. Because sometimes I see that into it. So it's like I want to kind of get my own thoughts. And I've been to a few Speaks events, both in Connecticut and a summit in DC back in 2019, and that was actually very humanizing. But that was kind of eye-opening. There's still some things that were changed within them, but because their organization, they changed a lot of different people. They like hired they put more autistic people on the board, and they have a one currently. Um, a lean ram at their social media like leadership role over there. So it's like it's one of those little changes over time. Kind of like that, and I could go in other examples like therapies, but that would be a rabbit hole and fine enough, but that's one
Mhm.
example. So I kind of go like I want to see things kind of just seeing things kind of as they are.
Mhm.
And I make friends everywhere I go. Even in
Great.
martini bars, one of my funny stories I tell people, not always, but
Mhm.
I go to New Jersey. I speak at a few New Jersey conferences. And
Mm.
sometimes I've made friends with behaviorists. I'm a coffee guy, and then
Yeah.
whenever at conferences, it's like a weird trend. I like to have an espresso martini at least the day before, especially after 4 hours of driving for that case, because go with that. And I feel like if I'm gonna do a cool thing before a conference the night before, I don't mind like a quick espresso martini. And then I was like casually chatting with a behaviorist right next to me, talking about autism in this little place right next to like the hotel checkout. Just crazy. Like that's kind of like how I've always been open to, and I take that more so to my advantage when I do a lot of my materials because there's all these little things that come up, like language, symbols, and all that. And I feel like being objective and also seeking out those perspectives instead, I feel like that kind of gives me like an edge to that. Heck, sorry.
Mhm.
Heck, I'm
It's okay.
actually volunteering at the Profound Autism Alliance. They're having their summit in Boston on the 16th and 17th.
One other question of mine is, what is your wish for future employers or clients?
Oh, for like autism at work programs on that angle.
Yes.
Oh, this was actually a topic I did with the ICANN Autism Conference. I'm actually featured that as my general topics that I do employment. It's
Mhm.
just better like including more different fields when STEM tech because when I was reaching up, I didn't see a lot of programs that feel like it'd be a good fit. Like I was not into tech. I couldn't make a video game. I mean, I could do a B movie video game if I wanted to, but clearly that was never gonna happen. So it's like I kind of feel like you leave. I don't want to say they're intentionally leaving people out by doing those things, But when I didn't see anything that would be a good fit for me, it's like it kind of sends a message that I was crazy for doing something that doesn't have like an autism at work program there. And when I was like going through the college and the education in my work routers out there, I kept like that's actually a lot of stuff that people do get into. I guess know some that are social workers, psychologists, behaviorists. Like there's actually quite a bit teachers too. So I feel like one of the coolest things is kind of I don't want to say get away because I feel like those autism like work programs were a good basis. And I don't want to diminish like their impacts because there was a lot of like some big successful programs in the mix. It's still ongoing, especially in Philly, but there's so many different programs over there, a lot of different neurodiversity style programs over there. But it's kind of like, hey, let's not exclude other people because you want to kind of make like a most impact or include materials where people can kind of build off of each other. And that's how, these programs can develop over time. Because there's going to be more young adults coming up or aging out in this case.
And now we will turn it over to Jennifer Brooks.
Oh, thank you, Stacey.
And now we will turn it over to Jennifer Brooks.
Thank you, Stacey. So, Andrew, can you tell us some more about your work as a DSP?
Thank you. And again, because of the nature of my work, I can't really reveal a lot of different details. Just I want to say that as a reference. I feel like that I kind of work with kind of like a small population. Small population, I do a lot like the daily like DSPs, like cook food if I really need to, do a lot of documentation. And yes, and gosh, there's a lot of documentation. But it's kind of like an engagement activities because of like a therapeutic style group home. There's like more of the emphasis on like developing like a safe like environment and doing activities during that. And when there used to be a TV, I kind of watch a lot of the shows there. And as DSPs, I feel like some of the things I won't go too many details, but I feel like some of the common areas that are kind of I don't want to say problematic, but they're like ongoing issues is, like the hours, and I'm per diem, so I can't comment on the benefits of a DSP because I'm not full time, shockingly. But a lot of those, like, it kind of does wear on you because, again, like you are interactive people. I don't like 24/7. There's like 8 hours, and I'm guilty of doing full day shifts where I work from the school into the group home. I kind of don't recommend that unless you're doing it for the short term. And doing these because I kind of got burnt out a few times. And because 3 to 11, 8 hours straight, that could be a long day. So that can kind of wear on people. And just the amount of things that can come up in DSP will, like, like you do a lot of cooking, you may do some general cleaning, you may have to de-escalate a few situations. Oh, trapped in two blizzards like I did. I got trapped in both blizzards in the East Coast. Wasn't something I was intending. I did get overtime for that, so I was a bit thankful for that. But was a lot of things, and it kind of like it feel almost like responsibilities kind of grow over time. So that way for that one, and one of the topics I'm considering in the future is DSPs and self-care because there is a lot of people that are leaving. I don't say leaving the field, but there's people like being burnt out in the DSP world. Like you could see it with look up DSP issues, you could kind of see that as like a big issue, like burnout. And because you have a growing like population, and I'm kind of go broader than just autism, for example. It's like when you don't have a lot of people there that can like really connect to people, that could be a big issue as there's staffing issues. So I feel like that's be one thing to kind of note that people should like invest more with DSPs and increasing like wages, more or less. Whatever they will come up with, I'm not sure. Especially I've kind of been in there for at least a year or two. But it was definitely interesting, and definitely you can see why people get burnt out in that field.
What is your favorite subject you worked on in the program?
Okay, this is based on like my school side. One of those, and I can do a lot of transition. Like I've like wished I was a little bit more in the transition program, but it can't be helped with being a teacher aide. And again, just like my other role, I don't want to go too much details. I tend to do a mixture. I kind of do whatever the school schedules me at, where I could be doing one-on-one work, or I could be helping in the classroom, and I work with a lot of outdoors people, the type that would go outside despite how cold or rainy it is. Like they will make it a point to go outside no matter what, against the wishes, and you have to kind of talk to them about being flexible, because not everyone can be outside at the same time. But one of my favorite subjects is I probably be transition. Like I really enjoy doing life skills. It could be like simply cleaning or taking walks or kind of filling in the time. Like I've always liked that. I always love like I could technically could do academics. I just enjoy doing life skills, money skills, and job sites. Like I've done some job coaching. I also did 2 years of job coaching a while ago, right before COVID hit. I enjoy that, just connecting with the companies when at the job sites and kind of working with individuals with their skills. Like that's been one of the, and I'm actually been considering becoming a employment support professional.
So, Andrew, it sounds like you really put a full life together actively as and a social life, especially as a active advocator and educator. So, what advice do you have for others out there in the community?
Thank you. I think my biggest advice and probably like themes to say is kind of going out there regardless of how many wins or losses that you get. Because I would go back to driving with autism. Like I kind of saw that as kind of like mixed. Like it was good outreach, but it was also was hurting me in the same time during that time. But I feel like Michael was his name, right? I feel like he was right by saying that it did end up as a success regardless of that, or at least it had like a success element there. So I feel like that's kind of some of the things that people have to kind of one like several things that you learn when you kind of grow up or do like adulting for the first like 5, 10 years. And it still kind of feels like that. You get ups, downs, those crazy days at the school when you're making sure your one-on-one doesn't do anything too nuts and keeping them engaged in the lessons. I have so many stories. Oh, yep, all the days you try to catch yourself or catch yourself or stopping somewhere after a long drive to help you gotta kind of recuperate a bit. Or squeezing in a couple hours of games after you do get into your like, a hotel room at a conference, for example. That's sort of what I'll be doing in Philly next week. See if I could squeeze in a few stuff on my Switch too. But kind of getting out there and kind of learning and not like giving up and gamings and playing games, consuming like the story themes in those kind of like reinforces the like persistence, resilience, not like stepping out. So I really enjoy playing those stories and actually making it a point, like I'm actually developing a presentation on guiding those energies of video game players. Because mine is very like, like it's kind I don't want to say abnormal, but it's kind of very unusual when you like frame it to autism. Like Temple has like a very I don't want to say old school, but she did came from the 50s and in a lot of ways that she is right about those because people can get too addicted. Like there can be a lot of different issues, when video game addiction goes like too far, for example. So I figure I kind of get my topic out there and like I don't kind of change your minds, but be like, you could kind of guide it this way. And yes, get into different things is a good thing. Like even for me, like some days I could love to play video games, but I spend it doing topics and other work instead. Probably because of workaholic nature, but are things out there better with games, but also gaming is a good way to calm people, in my experience at least.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another book review for AASCENTV, Life on the Autism Spectrum. I am your book reviewer, Jennifer Brooks, and today I want to tell you about Autism, the Invisible Cord, A Sibling's Diary by Barbara Kane. This is a fictional diary about a 14-year-old girl named Jenny, and she has a brother named Ezra, who's autistic, who Jenny describes as the most wacky, exasperating, infuriating, amazing younger brother. She starts off describing Ezra. If you were to see him riding his bike, smiling in the wind, you never know. Ezra looks like any other sixth grader with faded jeans, turned around cap, and a messy bunch of butterscotch colored curls. You see, my brother is like any other 11-year-old, except when he isn't. And yeah, some of you out there might be thinking, well, I mean, couldn't you say that about everyone? And well, the answer is yes, you can, except that Ezra is autistic. And so he often has meltdowns when things happen that he can't handle. And he loves to parrot commercials, which some people think is funny and some people think is annoying. And yeah, he constantly seems to be getting into trouble at school. And then they call his sister to calm him down and bail him out. And this book is about how autism doesn't just affect the autistic person, it has an impact on everyone around who interacts with that person, especially that person's family, his sister, his parents, who are always arguing about the best way to handle their autistic son's problems, and the two sets of grandparents who, yeah, whether it's well-meaning or not, keep giving him advice like you just need to discipline him better, stop letting him get away with everything. And don't you think we'd do that if he could? But, I mean, this kid, he can't help it that he's autistic, and he doesn't really want to cause so many problems for his family. He just can't help being the way that he is. And so, yeah, even though it can be tough sometimes, and we all need to be a little bit more compassionate and try to understand the other person's perspective.
Hello, everybody. Happy Passover and Easter to those who celebrate. Today, I would like to share a couple things. Sunday, April 12th, starting at 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific time, in Oakland, California, there's going to be an East Bay Dragons Autism Awareness Run, and this is also celebrating Avery Harley's birthday. Avery Harley's birthday autism awareness run at the East Bay Dragons MC, a fun-filled day sharing awareness and rare genetic disorders while celebrating Avery Harley's 11th birthday. All motorcycles and classic cars are welcomed, and there will be raffle prizes, bike shows, music, 360 photo booth, and kids and they can jump in things, and face painting and food and games. And yes, grown-ups, obviously all ages come in person, and free parking. So Eventbrite is where you would go to look up about more of Avery Harley's birthday celebration and autism awareness run. So Eventbrite, go there and reserve a spot. Next, I would like to discuss or bring up Saturday, April 18th, the next Best Buddies Friendship Walk, which is coming up this time of year at the Music Concourse in Golden Gate Park, as usual. Starting around 9:30 or 8 a.m. is recommended to get there. If you haven't registered yet, do so. Then you show up there around 7:30 or 8 a.m. You should sign in, or get your registration, and obviously a t-shirt. Usually you get that. But bestbuddies.org, go to their site, and if you have any questions, you can ask somebody on .org. And that day we celebrate until noon. Again, music concourse at the bandshell area, right near the Tea Garden Drive. So anyways, oh, and also happy Autism Acceptance Month. So that's another thing I want to throw in. Thank you. That's my report, and hope you all have a great day. Thanks. That is it, folks, today from Life on the Autism Spectrum episode. Until next time, I'm Stacey Kennedy.
I'm Will Burnick.
I'm Jennifer Brooks.
And I'm Andrew.
From all of us from AASCENDTV, until next time, stay well and see you next time.